Hi guys, welcome back for episode number 30 of the weekly playback. I know it's been a couple of weeks, so I will talk about some of the games I have played, and then of course I'll talk about my experience of going to the Dice Tower Studios and meeting Tom and Z and the rest of the people. So I'll do that at the end of the video. So the games I played, I'm gonna have to go back a couple of weeks, but some of them I'm still not gonna discuss because I'm still waiting on something. But anyway, so the first game I'll talk about is the Skulls of Sedlec. So this is a button shy game that's designed by Dustin Dobson, and I did not bring up all the other information, so but here it says it's for 2 to 3 players, and I think it came out last year or this year. So this is a card drafting game. You're going to have a bunch of different skulls, and you will at the beginning of the game have 6 piles of 3 skulls each, and they will be face down except for one of them. So one of the piles will start with a card face up, and on your turn what you can do is either you can flip 2 cards which are face down, face up, you can take a card which is called digging in the grave, or you can place a card from your hand into your crypt. So depending on the player count, your crypt will look like a pyramid, and in a 2-player game it will look like that. So it'll have 4 cards in the bottom, then 3 on the next line, and then 2 at the top. So you are trying to get different skulls adjacent to each other or below certain skulls in order to score points. So you can have no more than 2 cards in your hand at a time. So this does make for some interesting choices when you're playing. Like, you know, I've played this game at least 7 times, 2-player only, and it makes for interesting choices. And there's going to be times where you or your opponent might finish the game several turns before the other player, depending on which action you choose to do on your turn. So, you know, if you already have 2 cards in your hand, you're going to have no choice but to put down a card into your crypt. You know, so you might, you know, end up flipping cards on your turn as your action that reveals a card that you know your opponent might want. So, you know, it does make for some strategic decision making in which action you choose to take on your turn, but it's really simple, it's really straightforward. And the way the skulls score is that skull is a romantic, so it needs to be paired next to another skull of its own kind in order to score 6 points. This skull here scores 2 points for each level of the crypt it's on. This is a royal, so this one will score 1 point for each royal and peasant in a level below it. Peasants score just 1 point each. Then there is a prisoner, and a prisoner wants to be adjacent to a priest in order to score points, and 2 points if it is adjacent to a priest, and the priest is the blue one again. And I think that's all that is in the base scheme. So yeah, so it's just a couple of different types of skulls, and you are just trying to strategically place them into your crypt. I did go on Button Shy's website and I pre-ordered all of the expansions for this game. So I'm waiting for those to arrive, and then I'll be able to play it solo, and I'll see if it's interesting as a solo game. But yeah, super quick drafting game. It's nice. I like the skulls. I think they're pretty. The next game I will talk about, I do not have. So I played this with Tom Vassell at his studios, and that is called Meeples and Monsters. Let me just pull up the information. Oh, maybe it's Monsters and Meeples, actually. Maybe it's Monsters and Meeples. Let's see. Oh no, it's Meeples and Monsters. Sorry. Okay, so this is a 2022 game, and it is designed by Ole Steines, and the artist is Gong Studios, and it's published by Alderock Games. It's for 2 to 4 players. So this is a bag building, not deck building, bag building and worker placement game. I don't think you can really call it deck building, but there are cards that you have that you can upgrade your abilities of your meeples, which are going into your bag. So in this game, you start out with a standard set of meeples, and some of them are, God, what do you call the useless ones? I can't remember what the useless ones are, but there's some meeples that just add to your bag that serve no purpose other than just taking up space. But there are ways to get rid of them. I just do not remember what those ones are called. But you have a bunch of different kinds of meeples, different colors, and you start out with the same basic meeples everyone does. And you're going to pull out some meeples from your bag, and you're going to use those meeples on this board in order to either fight monsters, build up locations, or try to acquire new meeples from going to certain locations. And when you acquire new meeples, they go to the expended part of your board, which is like called the dormitory or something like that. I don't know what it's called, the lodgings. Like there's a tavern and then there's lodgings. So you move all the meeples over to the lodgings. As you upgrade your meeple abilities, you might be able to draw some extra meeples from your bag. You may be able to like just do different things, which will help you throughout the game. I actually kicked Tom Vassal's butt in this game, so that was cool. So yeah, as far as the gameplay itself is concerned, so the game will end once all the monsters have been defeated, and there's going to be, I believe, 3 points throughout the game where a special card is revealed, which will tell you, okay, now you're going to be drawing this number of meeples from the bag. And different monsters that you're defeating are worth different points. Each player has certain objectives in their own hand that they are trying to meet, and you can acquire more of those objectives throughout the game. Different monsters have different suits as well. So one of your objectives might be to defeat more monsters of a certain kind than your opponents, which I had done. So I scored mega points for an objective that way as well. I did not find the actual worker placement part of this game interesting at all. I thought it was really just boring. You could go onto the board and you could build up a location. I did not think the locations were that interesting. And when I would go to a location, it just didn't seem like a really, I mean, sometimes I felt like there weren't really good choices available, and I just didn't, I don't know, I just found that part to be kind of like I just wasn't interested in that part. And yeah, and different meeples have different fight values, and so you need to defeat monsters of different strengths by using a certain amount of meeples. And you know, on the board there are different actions. You need to do certain things in a certain order. So for example, there's some locations in the center of the board, and if you want to take those actions, you need to do that before you can do anything else, and that, you know, that can end up making a difference. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good game. I don't think it's a game I need in my collection, and I'm glad I didn't back it. Just because I just don't think it's a game that I would want to spend money on to keep in my collection. You know, if I'm looking for a worker placement and bag building game, I think that there are ones out there that are probably better. So yeah, so this game, you know, wasn't for me, but I know a lot of people really love it who have played it already, but it just wasn't for me. It's okay if people want to play it, I'll be willing to play it, but it's not a game I personally would bring out on my own and be like, yes, I really want to play this game. Just did not seem as interesting to me. But yeah, the scores in the end, I believe, like I had lapped around the score track and beat Tom by at least 30 points, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay, so the next game I will discuss is 51st Date. So this is a game I played with Z Garcia and Camilla, whose last name I do not remember, but she's part of the Dice Tower. I think it's Cleghorn, maybe? So yeah, so we played the 51st Date Master set, which comes with an expansion. He had like some, I don't remember what the expansion was. So this is a deck building game from 2016, at least the master set is. It's designed by Ignacy, I'm gonna butcher this, Zwijek? Don't know. The artist is Gregors Bobrowski, and the publisher is Portal Games. So again, this came out in 2016. It's for 1 to 4 players. And this is a hand management, worker placement game, and you do have variable player power. So I had no idea. It's also like engine building, so and city building. So I had no idea, like, you know, whether the character I chose was good or not. I just chose the purple character, and yeah. So I'm the kind of person who, when a game is being explained to me, I will not learn the rules as well as when I'm reading the rules myself. So in this game, I don't remember all the rules exactly because I don't own this game, but you have a city with different sections, and there's like a production section, I cannot remember what the middle one was now. And then there's a bottom section of your city. You're going to be placing cards from you're going to be drafting cards, first of all. You're going to be doing a snake draft of cards each round. And then you're going to be, spending resources that you have and workers to place down. You're going to be spending resources to place down cards and then workers to take certain actions on those cards. It's an engine building game, and honestly, I did not really get a good sense of my engine until about halfway through, when I started to realize, okay, this is how you play. I can, chain this together and make this happen, whatever. I really sucked at it. I performed pretty badly. I just didn't know what I was doing until like halfway through. There was a funny part in the game where, because like I said, I learn rules better when I read them myself and when I start playing a game, if I'm not going to be reading them myself. And there was a part in the game when Z took an action and I was like, oh, is that in the rule book? And Camilla started laughing a lot because she's like, oh, she's, doubting you and thinks you're cheating. And I was like, no, I don't think you're cheating. It's just that I wanted to see the rule book myself to see what that action is in case I would want to do it myself later on. Because when he went through the rules, I just, there's so much to keep track of when someone else is reading the rules to you. So that was something that I had completely missed or had forgotten about. So when Z took that action, I was like, let me see the rule book. And so they were just joking about that. That was really funny. But yeah, he totally kicked our butts in that game. Camilla, I think, was a few points ahead of me by the end of the game. I got some end of game points, which were nice. But yeah, it's a nice engine building game. It's got cool artwork. It's like a what do you call it? A dystopian, or when, something like when I think it's collapsed dystopian. I think it's called dystopian, right? That's what I'm thinking of, the word I'm looking for. Yeah, so it says the world no longer exists. There is no government, no army, no civilization. The United States has collapsed, and now 30 years after the war started, new powers finally try to take control over the ruined country, try to establish a new order, try to control others, and create a new country, a new state, the 51st state. So the artwork and stuff reminded me a lot of Radlands, like similar kind of premise, except Radlands is like a battle game, 2 players, but the artwork just kind of reminded me of that a little bit, but still different because Radlands is very bright and has a lot of neon colors and stuff. So yeah, so if you're into engine building games, I think it's a good game. I would be willing to play it again, because like I said, I did really badly this one time I played, so I'd be down to play again. The next game I will talk about is Long Shot, the dice game. So I had shared this, shown this to you guys a bit earlier in the last video, I think, because I finally received my production copy. So we just played it at last night's game night. It was really fun. We played a 4-player game of it. And like I said, it's a really fun roll and write game. Oh, let me read the information. Sorry. So Long Shot, the dice game, is a 2022 game, since everyone just started receiving their copies. It's for 1 to 8 players, designed by Chris Handy, and the artist is Klaus Souza, and the publisher is Perplexed. So you're going to have different horses and different horse cards. And, throughout this game, you're going to be marking stuff off on your sheet. So each player will start with one of these cards, and they'll get to pre-mark some stuff on their own board, as well as some bets that they start the game with. And then there's going to be horses, and this game comes with different sets of horses that you can use with varying abilities, so you can change up the games. And then you, on your turn, are going to roll 2 dice. 1 die will determine which horse is moving, which is this die, and then this one will determine how many spaces, and it's only numbered 1, 2, 3. And then in addition to the main horse moving, you're going to look at that horse's card and see which other horses are also moving 1 space by seeing which ones have an X in that section below them. And then each player gets to take 1 action going around, starting from the active player. You can either mark something on your concession stand, and if you complete a row or a column, you will get to select a bonus of some kind. You can either mark a helmet or a jersey of the active horse. Marking a helmet will allow you to place bets on horses once they're past the no betting line. And marking a jersey will allow you to, well, let me just show you the board first. So the horses are going all the way around the racetrack, but once they get past this, you can no longer place bets on horses. It is possible to push them back, but I'll get to that in a minute. So marking down a jersey will allow you to place an X on the bottom of that horse's card on any other horse you want to place an X on, which will then allow that horse to move one space when that main horse is again rolled. You can of course place bets, so you can increase your, place a bet or increase the amount of a bet you place on a horse. You can buy a horse. So starting with the first player, they have the opportunity to buy the active horse for the cost listed in the corner. And then, each player has an opportunity to buy it if it's still available. And if you buy a horse, you get a special ability, and different abilities take place at different times throughout the game. It's a really fun game. We had a lot of fun playing it. Like I said before in my last video, it's a game that my game group has always loved. We've always enjoyed playing this game, and it's nice to just have the production copy now. It's super fun. And at the end of the game, you're going to total your bets. You will get money. Well, first of all, you'll get money if if you own a horse that placed first, second, or third. Then you'll get to total all the bets you placed and multiply them by a multiplier to see how much money you've earned. If you placed bets on horses that passed the no betting line but did not rank 1, 2, or 3, you will still get a little bit of money. You'll get back what you basically placed, what bet you basically placed on that horse. And then if you have any jersey and helmet pairs, you'll get $5 for those, and then any leftover money, and then whoever has the most will win. It's a really fun game. I really like it. If you're into roll and writes, or if you want a fun kind of like betting game, I say definitely check this one out. Like, I really, really love this game, and this will stay in my collection forever. So, yeah. So that was Long Shot the Dice game. And finally, the last game I played, which I will talk about, is So Clover. So Clover is a 2021 game. It is designed by Francois Romain, and the publisher is Repos Production, according to this. It's for 3 to 6 players. So typically, I do not like word games, but someone brought this to a game night a couple of weeks ago, and I absolutely loved it. And this is the first time I've actually gone out on my own to buy a word game, which I typically don't do. I'm happy to play word games if other people bring them, but I've actually never gone out and bought one on my own. But this one I really loved. So each player is going to have a clover, and you are going to pick up 4 of these cards secretly and randomly place them onto your board. You're not going to decide where each card goes. It's going to be completely random. And then you are going, let me see if I can actually show you without these falling off. Then after you've placed them randomly, you have to come up with a clue that somehow links together those 2 words on each side. So on one side we have virus and mirage, on another side we have airport and explore, giant and science, and cross and paper. So you're going to try to come up with a word that links together your words, or something that's similar. It can be a proper noun, it has to be one word, or it can be a compound word. It can be a proper noun, it can be an acronym. So you're going to come up with words, and you're going to write them down, because this is a dry erase board with a marker. Then you're going to remove these, and then you're going to pick another one up and shuffle it in with the 4 cards that you had, and then the other players are going to try to correctly place these. If they get it 100% correct on the first try, it's a cooperative word game. It's like a beat your own score kind of thing. If they get it 100% correct on the first try, you will get 1 point for each card that was correct, plus an extra 2 points for a total of 6 points. If they were not correct on the first try, you would remove the ones that were incorrect, and then they have 1 more chance, and then they would get 1 point for each correct one at the end of that. So you only get 2 tries. It's fun. It elicits a lot of fun discussion, like just trying to rationalize or figure out what the words are. It's just so much fun. I just really, really love it. There was one time where I was trying to figure out what someone else's cards were, and I said something like, it must be that because rabbits have a pair of ears. And then I was thinking, well, lots of things have pairs of ears. We have a pair of ears. but like just the things you end up saying while you're trying to figure out the words that people had. It's just a lot of fun. And we played it at game night on Wednesday, and it was super fun. And yeah, I just really, really love this game. So I had to add it to my collection, so I bought it from a local gaming store. So yeah, so like I said, it's a beat your own score kind of thing, but I was, you know, trying to come up with ways to make it competitive because I am a competitive person. Whenever I take that quiz about gaming, where it shows you what your gaming personality is, I get highly competitive. But I'm not a sore loser or sore winner, I think. But so I think one way to make it competitive would be to like kind of break up into teams where you have a partner, or depending on the player count, you would have to figure out, you know, what you could do. And then you would take a picture so that, you know, there's no cheating involved after, you know, you've written down your words, and then you would remove it. And then your partner would be the one to have to guess correctly. And, you know, they would still get 2 guesses, you know, 2 turns to guess. And then whoever has the most points from whichever team would win. So not, you know, it would still be team-based, but competitive instead of a fully cooperative game where you're just trying to beat your own score. So that's one way I thought, you know, you could kind of change up the game. All right, let's go to games that I am backing, which is actually like really almost nothing. So I'm only backing 1 game at the moment, and I might even cancel my pledge for that. So I'm backing Tiwanaku on Kickstarter, and that is a deduction game with like kind of like a llama, you know, South American theme. I'm a sucker for llamas in South America, like the Andes and stuff. And I like deduction games, but I might cancel my pledge just because I'm super tight on money right now. And if TGG Games is backing it, I need to find out if they are. Then I might just buy it from them once it's in stock in their store, because yeah, you know, like I said, I'm kind of tight on money right now. So, and another game I'm backing only at $1, haven't, you know, I'm gonna see what I'll do about that, is Hamlet, the village building game. So there are so many games on Kickstarter right now, and GameFound. Like on GameFound, there is this game called, God, what's it called? It's got like druid looking things in it. Oh my God, what is it called? People were playing it at Gamma and elsewhere. Oak from Game Brewer. So yeah, Oak is currently on Kickstarter, GameFound. That looks really cool. You know, Game Brewer has made the game Paris, which I have and played and I liked. I have the game Rule Benders, which I pre-ordered. It should come to me at some point. I haven't received it yet. I know a lot of people have received their copies of Rule Benders, but I haven't received mine yet. I think those are the only Game Brewer games I've played, but Oak looks really good. The artwork looks really good. It's a worker placement game. It just looks really nice. So, you know, but I found out, I think TGG Games might be getting that, so I'm not going to bother backing it. I'll just buy it once it's in stock in their stores. As far as games that I am culling, I'm not culling anything at the moment. So I did I cull anything recently? No, I don't think I did. But I am, no, I'm not culling anything. So I'll just go into games that I have received. So Clover was a recent addition, which I showed you guys. So let me talk about Welcome to the Moon. So this is a game I wanted so freaking badly, and this was a gift from a friend who lives overseas. So this is designed by Benoit Turpin and Alexis Allard, and the artist is Hyde. I really like her artwork. She's the one who did the artwork for Honey Buzz. I really love her artwork. And this is published by Blue Cocker Games, and this just came out this year, I believe. It's a flip and write game, and it can be played, like you can play one different game at a time, or you can do like a campaign mode. So there are 8 different, okay, so what I love about this, first of all, is that these are dry erase boards. I do not have to laminate sheets, which makes me so freaking happy. Like I was getting ready to pull out my laminator and laminate a bunch of sheets, and then when I opened the box and found out that they're dry erase boards, oh my god, it made me so freaking happy. So let me just go through each board and show you the artwork. So this is the first scenario board, that game that you can play. Here's the second one. Here is the third one, and the fourth one. Here is the 5th one, and the 6th one, and then the 7th one, and the 8th one. I've been meaning to play this game. I'm gonna try to play it tonight. I haven't gotten around to it, but I'm super duper freaking excited to play this. And then you have this, so you have your rule book, and then you have a campaign book. So yeah, and then there's going to be cards that you don't open until you get to them, I guess. So there's 6 different boxes. Some of them are empty. I guess they're intentionally empty. And then there's cards in each box. I tried checking to see whether I had any sleeves that fit these cards. I did have sleeves that fit the cards, but then they wouldn't fit into the boxes. So I'm like, I guess this could be one of those times, rare times where I don't sleeve a game. I don't know. So I'm glad that this can be played solo, because I am kind of like, you know, obsessive compulsive about like, you know, preserving the quality of my games, which is, I know, a little bit crazy, but since I cannot sleeve cards, I'm like, I don't want to take this to a food place. Like, we meet up, my game night happens every week now at a bubble tea shop where there is food, and I'm always just really worried about, you know, people spilling stuff or getting like greasy prints on cards and stuff like that. So since I cannot sleeve these, I will insist on not playing it at game night. So I won't take it to game night. So that was one game I received. Another game I received is Furnace. The publisher was also going to send me Picture Perfect, but it inadvertently got left out of the shipping box. So that is on its way to me, and I really want to show you guys Picture Perfect because I played it and I loved it. So Furnace I haven't had a chance to play yet. So this is an engine building game by Ivan Lashine, and it's published by Arcane Wonders. And it is for... Wow, does it not say on here how many players it's for? That's interesting. Okay, guess not. I do not know how many players it's for. I'm guessing 4. I'm guessing 2 to 4. But anyway, it's an engine building game. There's no board, which I'm surprised about. For some reason, I thought there would be a board, and it just comes with some pretty cards. I haven't gotten around to sleeving these yet. And then some game components. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know exactly how to play yet, but it has coins and stuff like that. So I've heard it's a nice, simple, quick engine building game, so I'm looking forward to playing it. Another game I bought, I bought Jekyll versus Hyde, because when I've talked about trick-taking games here before, people have mentioned, I've gotten a couple of recommendations that I should check this out. So Jekyll versus Hyde is a 2-player trick-taking game, and I actually did try, I won't talk about it in detail, but I did try playing this with my brother-in-law, who is not a board gamer, and I just feel like he wasn't really catching on like how to maybe strategize in playing this. But it has one board, and on this board you're going to have the Jekyll versus Hyde pawn, and you're going to start with it on this end. I don't know, is it this end? It starts on one of these ends. I can't remember which end. And you are trying to, if you are one character, your objective is to keep it from going all the way to the other end. And if you are the other character, you want to bring it to your end in order to win. So it comes with this nice metal pawn. It's pretty heavy. And then it comes with these tokens as well. So the interesting thing about this trick-taking game is the cards that are played will determine the ranking of the different suits. There's 3 different, I believe there's 3 different suits. So there's green, purple, and red. And then there are some potions cards. So whatever card is played first will be the lowest ranking suit, and then the next suit that is different that is played will be the middle suit, and then finally the last one will be the last suit, the highest ranking suit. And these cards are numbered only 1 through 7, and then there's potions cards which go up to number 4. So yeah, so the way, you know, it functions similarly to any basic trick-taking game, except that you know, how the suits are placed and you know, determined. And then there are these special tokens as well. When you play a potions card, you can activate one of these like tokens, which will tell you what ability you have, depending on like who won that trick or who played a potions card or something like that. Just from playing it with my brother-in-law, again, he's not really a board gamer, so you know, I think he maybe didn't have a really good sense of how to play, but my first impression was that it seems very unbalanced. Like, I just do not, like, I was counting the amounts of tricks that someone, like, you know, where the game ended, I was just counting how many tricks the other player would need to win in order to, oh, so that's another interesting thing. It's not one player just winning all the tricks that moves the pawn. excuse me, you subtract the amount of tricks, the higher number, you subtract the lower number from the higher number. So whoever wins whichever amount of tricks, you are going to subtract the lower from the higher. And that's how many spaces this pawn will move. So that makes it interesting. So, you know, as the starting player, you will try to, you know, kind of gauge whether or not you want to win tricks in a certain round, you know, how far the pawn would move. Again, I need to play it with someone who is very familiar with trick-taking games, familiar with board games, who can get a sense of how to play. And then maybe I'll see whether or not it's actually balanced or not, but my first impression was that it's going to be really hard for the other player to win this game. The one who needs to make the pawn come all the way to their end. I don't know. A game I received is Cryptid Urban Legends. So this is a review copy from Osprey Games, and I believe it's coming out next month. So you can pre-order this game if you want it. It's designed by Ruth Beavers and Hal Duncan, and it is illustrated by Kwanchai Moriya. This is another game that I could not sleeve because, well, I could sleeve it, but then I'd have to throw away the insert, so maybe I will. But so I don't know how to play it yet. All I know right now is that it is a deduction game for 2 players, and I like the artwork. So let me just show you some of the cards. So it comes with different cards. Let me just show you the backs of the cards. And then it has these square cards, which will be like, you know, the map or whatever that you're making. And then there are these other cards. So again, I haven't played it yet, so don't know how it plays yet. And then it has these tokens of different kinds. So yeah, so I will play this and let you know my thoughts. I hope I can play soon, maybe this weekend. Yeah, or maybe tonight even. I have a friend coming over, but he's not really a board gamer, but I'll have to play something that, you know, I think he can handle as a non-board gamer. Okay, and then finally the game I will show you is Dungeon Date. So this is a production copy that I received. So this is designed by Michael Addison. I don't know if he also does the artwork, but it is published by Nerdy Pup Games. And this is a set collection game. You know, it's been a while since I played it because I did cover this for its Kickstarter. So this is a review. I had a review copy of it and now prototype copy of it. So now this is the production copy. But let me just show you some of the art because I really like the artwork in this game. So there are so many different types of cards in this game. Yeah, just really unique, pretty artwork. I just really, really like the artwork. And then the backs. And then there is a, so you are like, it's a set collection game as well as like a battling game, if I remember correctly. It's just different cards. And then each player will have their own board, and then there is going to be like a main board from where you can like draft cards, if I remember correctly. And then there are some tokens and some crowns. Yeah, so I'm sorry, it's been a really long time, so I don't remember exactly how to play now. But yeah, it just seems like a cute game, so I decided I would like to play it at game night one night and see how it plays. Because this one I think comes with some extra cards that I did not have when I previewed it. So yeah, so those are all the games I played and received. So now let's talk about my trip to Florida. So yeah, so I went to the Dice Tower Studios. It was really fun. It's amazing, you know, I can't go into details, but like the studio is really nice. It's, you know, it's like, it's a house which has been converted into a studio, and it's really cool. There's like a bunch of different rooms, and different Dice Tower members have their own like personal studio recording space. There's, you know, several game tables throughout the studio, and this was the first time I ever played on an actual game table, which was really cool. Like, you know, to be able to play on a game table made me realize why it would be worth investing in one someday. So, you know, it has that like not felt, I don't know what you call it, maybe it is felt top, and whatever, you know, a playmat is made out of that material. And so it's much easier to lift up cards and stuff like that. You have those raised walls, so you never have any risk of things flying off of the table or rolling off of the table. It's even had those things built in that you could just, it had card holders, so you could like little grooves in the side that you were on, so you could put a card in and just, you know, you wouldn't have to hold them in your hand if you didn't want to. You know, it had cup holders. It was really nice. It was a really nice big gaming table. I really, really liked it. But yeah, it was super fun. You know, I took some strawberries with me, you know, just as a little gift, you know, for everyone when I came. So they, in the city that they're located in, there's a famous farm there that's known for, you know, its produce and also some of its baked goods and stuff like that. So I picked up some strawberries, and there's also a place nearby which is known for its like tropical fruit produce and also its smoothies. So I went to this place and I got a smoothie called Canistel. So I was like, I'm going to be adventurous and I'm going to try a fruit that I've never tried before. So I asked the person when I got to the counter what they would recommend, and they were like, oh, you should get Canistel, everyone loves it. And oh my god, I really did not like it. So I thought it was really gross. I tried to force myself to drink it. I went to lunch after I had gotten the smoothie and milkshake, and I was like, okay, maybe if I eat, then I can, wash down my food with the smoothie and hopefully drink it, because it was a $9 smoothie. No, I just did not like it. So then I went back later before heading to the Dice Tower Studios, and I ended up getting a smoothie that I actually like, something that I'm familiar with, like a pina colada smoothie. And then when I got to the studios, I was like, oh, can I store this Canistel smoothie in your fridge? Because I'm going to take it back for my sister. Maybe she'll like it since I didn't like it. No, she also did not like it. So that was $9 down the drain. Like, she also thought it was really gross. So that was my experience with Canistel. But everyone was really nice. When I got there, there was a lot of people there. I actually don't remember everyone's names, but of course, there's Roy. I recognized him. Mike, I think, was there. Chris was there. So, I said hi to everyone who was there. Lots of nice people. They're all very friendly. They're all very down to earth. I didn't feel weird or like out of place just coming there to play games with them. So it was really cool. It was really cool to see like a proper studio with like the cameras like set up. It's not like me where I'm, shooting at my table, and every week I have to set up my ring light. I have to put in my phone and, attach my microphone. And, no, this is like a proper studio where, when they're ready to shoot, they can just basically shoot, and they had like proper, like, equipment and to ensure that, there's no echoes in the room and stuff like that. It was really, really cool just to see their setup. Someday my hope is to have a proper studio. If I can move into a bigger apartment, then I would like to dedicate one room to being just a studio so that I can just go in and shoot and not have to, set up something every single time when I'm ready to shoot some content. But yeah, it was super fun, and I hope I will get to see them again someday. I really enjoyed playing games with them. I thought it was really a lot of fun. Their game library is huge. Really, really big, as is expected, I think. So I don't think I have much else to say about it, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. What else? One question that was left on the last video was, what are my top 10 games? I have been meaning to do an updated top 10 of all-time games list, and that is on my to-do list. Ko-fi, I've got some artwork commissioned for the different Ko-fi levels, and I've been working on my Ko-fi levels, membership levels. So that will be going live finally on April 1st. What else? I'm not getting sponsored, so I'm not going to be sponsored by Sovereignty after all. So they're not sponsoring any of my videos. So, but they do want to commission me to shoot just a 1-minute video about what Sovereignty is, but they won't be sponsoring my weekly playback videos like we had discussed. So yeah, I guess that is it. When was it? I can't remember if it was before last time or after, but I did play my prototype and I got some super amazing feedback on my elephant game. So yeah, so I'm still working on that and super excited about that. I guess that is it. I don't know. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And yeah, until next time, bye.